Yes, thank you, Dr. Miller, and you too, Doris. I'll try to bring you up to date on what's going on with our lawsuit against USDA over the EID tag mandate. Right now, we are in negotiations for a settlement, and that date, the ending date, and I don't remember exactly when it is, but it should be coming up here sometime in August. One of the things that we've been pushing is that we don't like this EID tag, which you're very well aware of. And we've maintained in our lawsuit that the rule is arbitrary and capricious for the reasons that the big thing that we were told by USDA that, well, we get these numbers transposed on a metal clip tag that's 9-digit number. And so we have to use electronic tag. Well, USDA's rule states that you don't have to have a reader to read that electronic tag. You can read it. That's a 15-digit number. So there's a possibility of error is much greater with that. And that's pretty much the crux of our lawsuit. And, you know, whether the judge decides agrees with us or not, we will find out here soon. So that's pretty much what's going on. Texas and Wyoming pushed hard to use the metal tags within their state, and I believe they each had their own tag designed. Our law that we cited today, 40-327, I think it is, which states that we can use the metal tags or you can use the EID tags. So Wyoming used that particular law to push USDA into allowing us to use the metal tags for the reason that there was no regulation on animals under 18 months of age, breeding stock animals. So when we met with Dr. Miller and the Animal Industry Board, we asked to have a tag for South Dakota. Well, like he stated earlier, we don't need that. We can use the Bangs tag, the metal tag, if we want to. And I think that that's what the whole idea of being a citizen of the United States is, to have choices. If you like to use the EID tags, go right ahead. If you like the metal tags, let's do it that way. Most of our cattle, our heifer calves, especially for me, if I Bangs vaccinate my replacement heifers, they stay on the ranch their entire life until you get ready to sell them as slaughter cattle. Or maybe you have a 2-year-old heifer that loses a calf or she doesn't conceive, so you will sell those. Well, those animals go into commerce right away. And the way I understand it, that our regulation in South Dakota is that you're not supposed to bring those type of cattle back to the country because of trick in cattle. So in theory, those cattle would go directly to slaughter. All they would need is a paper back tag to be, that's legal ID for 3 days to get to slaughter. One of the other things that we discussed at the Animal Industry Board was, and it was brought up by Mario Tarango, that since we have the screwworm infestation in the southern states, by using any kind of tag, you're creating an open wound and you're allowing the possibility of screwworm infestation. We suggested that we use a paper back tag on those animals too, at least until they went through the protocols of being cleared to come out of that state. Maybe they could be EID'd at a later date, but you would have a record of where those cattle had went to. Those paper tags, if they're put on correctly, last 2-3 months. So that was just a suggestion, and we don't know the answer. And I don't think USDA knows the answer yet either. Also, we have been pushing, or I shouldn't say we, but some people within the industry. I know that Dr. Max from RCAF has pushed USDA to allow ivermectin to be fed to animals to help prevent screwworm infestation. The injectable form is good for 21 days, is the way I understand it, if you inject them. But if they can infect an animal through a tick bite, they probably can through any kind of an injection that you give them. I wouldn't be too worried myself about ivermectin because you're giving the animal the shot that repels the fly, kills the larvae. I'm not a veterinarian, so I don't really know the exact terminology there, but I do know that ivermectin can be used for prevention of screwworm infestation. It seems like there was something else I was needing. Oh, at the RCAF convention, if you weren't there, I asked the membership if they wanted to pursue this lawsuit or settle out of court. And what the deal was RCAF chose not to settle out of court because we really hadn't won anything. What was being proposed, we already had. So if you want to keep the stock growers going in this lawsuit, why, raise your hand. If you want to settle out of court, raise your hand. Looks like it's unanimous. Keep going.
Kenny,
Yes.
I have a question for you. Let's talk about APHIS's final rule of traceability for moving of interstate livestock, March of 2013. This gave us identification of the following items. An official ear tag, correct?
Correct, yes.
Brands registered with a recognized brand inspection authority, correct?
Yes.
Tattoos, other identification methods acceptable to the breed association.
That's true. The breed registration tattoo, that's different from a brucellosis tattoo. A brucellosis tattoo just proves that they've been vaccinated for brucellosis. It's not an individual ID.
Okay, so in 2022, Governor Nome, she issued a law into South Dakota that recognizes this, correct?
She did. That was the law that I cited, 40-327, was amended, that codified law that allowed us to use multiple forms of official ID based on the 2013 USDA rule. And that was passed by a 2/3 majority in both houses, Senate and House, put on the governor's desk, and she did not sign that till the last minute. And if she didn't sign it, it still would have went into effect anyway. And there was no publicity on it. Representative Marty Overweg carried the bill and got it passed into law. He was never recognized like they usually do when a law gets, or a bill gets passed into law. So, if she would have had the power to veto it and think she could win, she would have done that.
So now the stock growers, we have recently encouraged counties. We have resolutions in counties to this effect of the RFID tags, correct?
Yes, we do. We have 19 county resolutions, and they go all across the state. We have Hughes County. We have, I think it's Han County, isn't it? Ray, you helped get us both of those.
Hughes and Han both, yes.
Yes, and then Brown County, I know, is for sure, and Campbell County. And we encourage, if your county doesn't have it, and we have a list of those, most of our counties West River have it. There's a few that don't. I I don't believe Gregory County's been approached. And I think there's one up there in north central South Dakota that hasn't been approached as well. I'd have to go through the list again. But I do have copies of all of those with me today. So if you're interested in wanting to know if your county has passed a resolution, come and talk to me.
Yes, and the stock growers will be happy to help with that process. Any final remarks, Kenny?
I don't believe so. Is there any questions? Well, to quote President Reagan, he said the scariest words in the dictionary or the English language is, "I'm here from the government and I'm going to help you."
All right, thank you, Kenny.
Thank you.
Kenny has served as a past president of the stock growers, and I don't even want to gather to how many years you've been on both brand and RFID. So thank you for your service, and we appreciate it.